There was a piece of Cheerios there that it saw. So it went into a vacuum only event. Now it put the mop pad back down. Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today we're going to do the first look, show you how to set up for the first time the brand new Dyson Spot+Scrub AI robot vacuum cleaner. I did buy this robot vacuum cleaner with my own money, wasn't paid for this video. It does retail for $1,200 right now. So in this video, we're going to put it together. We're going to connect it to the Dyson app. I'm going to give you my recommended settings, and then we might do a simple cleaning just to see how it does. But in order for it to get my Just a Dad approved sticker seal of approval, I'm going to take it to my home and live with it for 3 months. After that 3-month testing, then I'll let you know if it passes my test. Now, the best place to find all the robots that have already passed that test is my website, justadadapproved.com. If you purchase a product off of this video description or on my website, I am an Amazon affiliate. The product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. Now, I can see a lot of similarities between the iRobot Roomba 705 mop roller. They don't give us many specs. I'll have all the specs that I list on my website, justadadapproved.com. No suction power, 10 millimeter mop lift. I had to measure it. Side brush is main brush is basic. The ad says that it mops with hot water, making you think the robot heats the water up and mops. But if you look at the box, it says that the base station fills the robot up with hot water, 140 degree. No camera on the front. It is a bagless base station, so a lot of people have been requesting what's the best bagless. We'll see. Okay, let's get started. So here's everything that comes in the box. It does come with this tray. You're simply going to snap this tray on. We've got to install 2 side brushes that were in the box. There's a power cord. Here's the actual robot. It does have LiDAR navigation, which I'm really thankful for that. 2 physical buttons up here. The base station here, there's a clean water tank that you're going to take off and fill with clean water. There's also a solution tank. You're going to fill it up with solution right here. This is the dirty water tank. There's also a filter here. I'll show you how to take that out and clean that. This is the robot's going to vacuum your home, come back, everything gets sucked out into this bagless. Press this button right here. You're going to take this to the trash can. You're going to press this button, and then the bottom drops out. There's a little filter, and it does have that cyclonic action to help keep the hair off the filter. We have a HEPA filter right here that is reusable, and that HEPA filter is the same filter that's in the robot. Now, if we look at the data, 110 to 127 volts, 50 or 60 hertz, 680 watts. Around back, there is a handle. You're going to plug the power cord in. It's 3-prong. You're going to plug it in right here. There's no power switch on the back, so make sure you plug that in all the way. It is 3-prong and the cord is 6 feet long. Here's what the bottom of the robot looks like. I don't think we have access to take that off, but it is a clear to see if you got a clog or something. There is a dirty water tank filter. It's kind of hard to get out. You're going to turn it to the unlock position. And basically, if you kind of keep turning it, it kind of rotates itself out. And there's like that's a metal filter that's cleanable. Now, they don't give us any Dyson solution, but it says you're supposed to put the Dyson floor cleaning solution right here. Here's the inside of the dirty water tank. There's a float, and then that's going to simply just slide in there like that. Here's the clean water tank. There is a float down there. There's also a filter at the end of this hose here. Now these connections, there's really no connection here. It's monitoring that metal float inside there. So you're gonna fill this up with just clean water, and it slides right there. There is a light up here to let you know the status. Okay, the base station, this is where one of these fills it up and one of it sucks the dirty water out. So the bottom one is gonna suck the dirty water out of the dirty water tank. The top one is going to fill the robot up with 140 degree temperature. And the robot has a really cool design. That's a clear water tank. Onboard water tank is clear. These are alignment pins. This is where it's going to charge. That's a sensor to help it back up. That's where it's going to blow warm air onto the mop roller. Here's where it auto empties the dustbin. So this thing's going to vacuum your home. And then there's another vacuum going to kick on in the base station, suck everything out through there. Now, all of the cleaning of the mop roller is handled internally of the robot. There is no, like, it's going to put hot water down here and then suck the water out of this little tray. Now, you may get some water in this tray, but hopefully it's going to get sucked out from the robot side. Front to back, the docking station's 19 inches or 49 centimeters. Height, you're looking at about, again, 18.5 or 47 centimeters. You don't have to lift these very high to get everything out, so it's not like you need a bunch of room above it. Left to right, 17.25 inches or 44 centimeters. The robot itself, 14.5 inches or 37 centimeters. The robot is a little on the tall side, 4.25 inches tall, 11 centimeters tall. I do like physical buttons. We've got a power button, which is also like start, stop, and pause, and then a docking button. Now the front bumper, this whole part moves. Here's our LiDAR navigation down here. That's going to spin, and the LiDAR signal can come out the sides. This is not a camera on the front, but it's an obstacle avoidance sensor and also a dirt detection sensor. And there's a green light on the front that can tell if the dirt in front of it is a liquid or a vacuum, or it needs vacuumed. Over here, we have a sensor on the side. The mop roller can go up against the wall. Around back, there's the sensor to help it back up. Charging, again, that's where it fills this clear tank up. Now this tank, as far as I know, doesn't come off, but here's the dirty water tank. The dirty water tank does come off. So press this button and pull straight out. It's a clear design also. There's a float in there, a little handle. You are gonna have to clean this once in a while. Looks like it's very easy to clean. Push it down. Up top, there's the filter. You're gonna press this, it pops up, and here is the dustbin. The dustbin's quite intricate. Again, it's gonna auto empty out the bottom. That's a little trap door. That's a little door to let air in. So it comes apart. This part doesn't come off, but this little door does. So you're gonna pull this, comes down, you can clean this, but here's the filter. You're gonna take that filter out. And again, I'm pretty sure that's the same filter that's in the base station. That's as far apart as it comes. There is a little flapper on there. So this is for easy cleaning, but there is quite a bit of intricacies up there. A mechanism. So put that in all the way, close that. There's what it looks like there. Now when you put it in, make sure you push that down so it's nice and flush. There's that's an internal water tank. It's got a float. Looks like that's where it comes in, and maybe a possible drain or something. Okay, the only assembly we got to do is there is these brushes. So that's got a blue, there's a blue, that's just a square. So just find it, snap it on. It doesn't extend out to the side or anything, and this one's red, that one's red, pop it on. It does have a carpet sensor. This wheel spins free. These are your cliff sensors, so it doesn't fall down your stairs. You will have to clean those once in a while. Here's the main drive wheels. Let's take a look at the brush, lift that up. It does have a comb down here to help get some of the hairs off of it. Here's the brush, it's a single piece. These ends do come off. If you find, there's a lock, unlock, pull that off. You might get some hair wrap around down here. Both sides come off. And this is just like a bearing. The other side comes off. Also, it's a square. Put the square side in first, put that down. There's what the door looks like. Let's put the door in. Here's the mop roller. Now I do have the dirty water tank off. There's what it looks like, but I'm gonna leave it off for a second. Over here, you're gonna press this button like this. That's gonna release this, then pull this out. Now we can also take this tray out too. Press this button, this comes out. So this is where the water is gonna come down. There's a scraper right here that kind of comes apart. This comes out for easy cleaning. We're not gonna wanna get any water on this motor. It doesn't rotate out of the way. There's kind of where the dirty water goes in the dirty water tank. Here's where it auto empties the dustbin out of this port, and that's the port that lets air in. So here's where the water comes in. And it's these little holes where it sprays the water. The bigger holes are the suction. So everything gets scraped off. That's a little scraper. And then that leads to the dirty water tank. This, oh, it does come apart, yeah. So we have one, I think this, yeah, this comes off for easy cleaning. Doesn't come all the way off, but at least we can get in there and clean. That's gonna get dirty. That will need to be cleaned once in a while, because that's the scraper. And again, you've got the full length of these little water jets right here. Spraying water on the mop roller, and then it's being sucked off. Now this whole mechanism, this whole mop roller does move up against the wall. Now putting this on, there's a track. So find the track, and then slide this. It should click. Here's the mop roller. You will have to replace this once in a while. I'm not sure if this, no, this end doesn't come off, I don't think. If it does, it doesn't come off easy. Slide the roller in. This all is very easy to work on. Rotate this and click that into place. Again, it can raise this up and down. I measured 10 millimeters. And again, here's the dirty water tank. It slides on like that. Okay, there's the completed robot. Side brushes, main brush for vacuuming, drive wheels, this wheel spins free, carpet sensor, mop roller, it can move it up against the wall, dirty water tank, and that's where it auto empties the dustbin. Okay, I've got the docking station plugged in, the red light is flashing. Let's fill this up. I don't have any Dyson solution, and they don't ship any with it. Okay, I've got the clean water tank filled up. I'll do some testing to see whether we can put some Shark. I normally put Shark Vac Mop solution inside my clean water tanks, but I got to do some testing first. But you can find the solution I recommend and the cleaning brush on my website, justadadapproved.com. Also, the Effort tablets, we're going to put one in the dirty water tank. This prevents the odor. These things will start to stink, but you will have to clean them once in a while, and that's where this brush comes in handy. Again, this is just from Walmart. I've got a link to it on my website. And the cleaning solution. This helps clean out the odor. All right, let's see if the red light stops blinking. It turned to white. The robot is a little heavy, so be careful by picking it up with one hand. All right, let's dock it. Those lights are now glowing. And I'm going to get the Dyson app and we'll connect it to our smartphone.
Charging.
So it did say charging, and I heard some motors moving. So if you're new to the channel, I review robot vacuum cleaners for a living. I purchase them with my own money. I'm not sponsored. And I live with these robots for 3 months in order for them to get my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. You can find all the robots that I highly recommend on my website, justadadapproved.com. This is home of the honest review, and I want to get you the best robot vacuum cleaner for the best price. Okay, you got to get the Dyson app. It's free to use, but you got to log in with a username and password. Okay, let's add a product. It wants to use Bluetooth. So right now it's searching, allow. Okay, it did find it, select it, hold your device, press and release both buttons on the robot. So you gotta make sure your device is close to it, and it wants you to press both. Didn't say how long. Okay, I just single pressed them both. It says robot is paired. Continue to set up. Select your Wi-Fi. I'm pretty sure it only works on 2.4 gigahertz, and give it your Wi-Fi password. All right, hit submit. So now the tablet is going to tell the robot what the Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi password is. So the robot should go connect to the Wi-Fi, and then your iPad or your iPhone should reconnect to its Wi-Fi. So hopefully this is all seamless. And you can see it's taken a little bit, but it's walking away with check marks across. Okay, connected. Continue. Okay, let's name it. I'll just leave it that name. You could give it a custom name. Confirm purchase date. Okay, finally, before we begin, you'll probably receive new updates. So just click OK. All right, setup's complete. It's got 99%. It comes with a lot of charge. Oh, now it's updating. That was all automatic. I didn't select anything. So you just got to wait for the update to finish. Okay, so the robot's going to turn itself off and back on. So it may seem like it's offline, but it's installing the update. This took just maybe a couple minutes. Okay, so don't get nervous. It does go offline for about 5 minutes. It turns itself off. The 2 lights flash for 3 or 4 minutes, so it makes you think it's not working right. But the update we're on about 8 minutes now. Okay, it just said update complete. And hopefully this is going to come back online. Okay, it does. I didn't have to do anything. Just be patient with it. All right, now let's go. Let's hit that. Enable robot voice, volume. So I have not been through these settings. These are all new to me right now. And there's no manual for it. So let's manage maps. We're going to select that to start mapping. Product settings, we'll go through these later after we map it. There is a how-to, so you could walk through these different how-tos. So let's go to manage maps. It's got plenty of charge. Let's start mapping. It's going to map your home. Hit next. Open your doors. Pick up stuff off the floor. Start mapping.
Mapping started.
So it's going to randomly go around your house. And we should see the map live. I'm not sure. It does have that green light on the front. It didn't wash the mop or anything yet. It says your map will appear here once complete. So it doesn't do the live mapping. Okay. Oops. It finished mapping. It said it was done, but it says there. There's the map. Ooh, I like it. All right, let's go through and edit the map. Let's see how accurate it is. That's pretty accurate. It's actually really accurate, I think. Okay, manage rooms. So let's go to I want to divide this, or I want to split this room. So you gotta, you can't do like angles. Interesting. We can pinch and zoom. I guess you can't do angles. And the wall actually extends to there, but it thinks the wall is there, so hit split. All right, let's take your time and divide up you may have to have it clean your house. Maybe it gets a little bit more accurate, but take your time. Let's go through and you can merge rooms. Let's rename. This one is the custom. All right, what else do we got? We got my map, manage rules, edit furniture. We can delete the map. We can create a new map. Looks like we can have more than one level. All right, let's click on manage rules. So let's click this room, add a rule, avoid area, climb threshold. It just says very small raised obstacles. Wash, the robot will clean this area without brush roller or vacuum only. Add a rule. So let's do a no-go zone. Okay. It's a little different strategy. You got to walk through. So I know this is a no-go zone. I know over here, most robots get stuck. Let's do that again. Manage rules. Add a rule. What do you want to add? Let's do a threshold. Now you should be able, it doesn't let you make a line. Normally I thought it made it, normally thresholds are a line, but this, you can make it bigger, but you can't make it a line. So that's different. Remove the rule, add a rule, wash only. So let's say, okay, there it is. So all the rules are yellow. They don't change color. Let's say you don't want it to vacuum this area. You would just make that and hit save. Like over here, let's do. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't change the color, but you get a different icon. Let's manage rules. What else do we got? Add a rule. And you can add these later. You can do vacuum only, wash only, climb a threshold, or avoid. So you can play around with these and fine tune these later. Let's go back to manage rooms. Under manage room, you've got split, merge, or rename, or rotate the map. So that's about it. I've never done much with the edit furniture. You can add furniture. I mean, you know, maybe it helps. I typically find that doesn't do much good. Okay, there's everything with that. Now let's go to product settings. Make this a little bit bigger. Wash settings. Wash with hot water is on. Wash with cleaning solution. So that's the cleaning solution. Cleaning solution says it's ready to use. How to refill, even though I didn't put anything in it. Extend roller priming. The robot takes more time to prepare the wet roller on the dock to ensure a thorough cleaning. So that extends the mop washing time. It's off by default. I'll leave it off. Dock settings. Self-cleaning and for how often your robot will return to clean. You can do 15 minutes after every room. Whoops. 30 minutes or only when needed. The robot will only return to the dock when it needs to refill or empty its tanks. So 15 minutes is fine. Self-clean with hot water is on. Wet roller drying duration, 4 hours. It does say it uses hot air. So I'm gonna go down to 3. Manual dock controls. So if I wanna wash and if I wanna empty the dustbin, it's kind of hidden in dock settings. Normally that's a button on the front. Consumables, this is the brush roller, wet mop roller. I like that it says why replace it, how to replace. It's going to take you to a video or something. Whoops. Nothing's available. So it'd be nice if that had a little instructional video or something. Dock filter, robot filter, and cleaning solution. Nothing for the, well, it doesn't have a dust bag. Robot voice settings. You can just pick the language. Change Wi-Fi voice control. Just has those two. It doesn't have Matter support. Time zone, it's in London. Might be easier to search. There's a bunch of cities, so I'm going to pick Chicago because that's Central Time. Time zone, serial number, product name. You can change the name if you want. There's the custom name. Auto update is on. Says we're up to date, and you can remove the robot. How to, some simple discover. That's just other stuff. So overview. Okay, so let's go back. When you first log in, there's your products. I have the original one. These things connect to, but hit Smart Scrub. Ready to clean, no activity, so you can set your schedule right here. I do recommend, this is the one thing I tell people is pick some times. Like, I'll do mine at night when I'm not here. Set up a clean. So you're gonna, I guess there's not one for everything. You can tell it what you want to do in each room. Vacuum and wash. Vacuum, wash only, vacuum, then wash. That's important if you don't want the mop roller to be wet when it's going over carpet. You can do auto, quick, quiet, or boost. We'll have to learn what those are. So definitely put it on a schedule. Okay, now let's click Ready to Clean. Okay. Looks like there's not a button to clean everywhere. I still got to learn this. So it's selecting, it's in room. So let's pick a room, and then you would pick Edit Clean Settings. What do I want it to do in the corner test? I want it to vacuum and wash, vacuum only wash, or vacuum then wash. And then there's the modes. They don't tell us a whole lot about these modes. I'll have to learn more about those. I'm sure it's different water settings and different, normally you see like a vacuum level, like medium, low, or high. And same with water level, you can fine tune it, but they don't give us that. They really just give us, so let's do vacuum and wash. Okay, so there's the hydration level, sorry about that. So under vacuum mode, auto means it's got a carpet sensor. It'll go to boost whenever it senses carpet, but you can do quiet, which is probably low, or quick. Quick is probably medium, quiet is low, and boost means it's probably in high suction all the time. 3 levels of hydration means how wet the mop roller gets. Set how many times your robot washes the floor. You can go once or twice. So there's no automatic AI. I mean, there is an AI sensor built into the front of it when it senses something. But let's do wash only, just 3 level vacuum up, and vacuum only. So the only other thing is target, which is like this purple box, and you can just say, go clean that purple box according to those settings. And you're gonna hit then you just hit the start. I like how it gives you a time of how long it thinks it's gonna take, but I don't think you can add more than 1 target. So go back to room. So it thinks it'll take 6 minutes to clean that room. I like that feature. Okay, so in the app, let's go to cleaning, hit skip. Let's tell it to clean this room. Let's edit the settings. I want to clean the corner test area. I want to vacuum and wash. Auto is fine. Let's do level 2 and 2 passes. And then we'll hit. So there are my settings. Let's see. I forgot to hit the save button down here. So vacuum and wash, auto mode for vacuum. There's like 3 levels of suction. Let's do level 2, 2 passes, hit save. Now I can pack out. It's gonna vacuum and wash the corner test area, and let's hit start. Here's the base station again. I got my clean water tank full. This is the dirty water tank, it's empty. There's the dustless or bagless dustbin. Now it's gonna fill the robot's internal water tank.
Self-cleaning started.
There comes the water. And it is filling it up with hot water. So it is washing the mop roller it's going to do 2 things. It cleans it, but also gets it wet. Okay, it's undocked. It's going to travel to that room and start cleaning. I like that the docking station, there's not much water left over there. Okay, we're going to see how the Dyson Spot+Scrub cleans up this big mess. Wow, it's already off to a good start. Now it's not able to go underneath that piece of furniture. It is pretty tall. And it did move that piece of furniture. So I think it went into a vacuum only event there, but now it's mopping again. All right, it lifted the mop pad. There was a piece of Cheerios there that it saw. So it went into a vacuum only event. Now it put the mop pad back down. All right, it's doing a good job of mopping. Left a little bit right there. Wow, it definitely got all that muddy paw prints up. So it's doing the second pass. We're getting the crisscross pattern now. The first pass was left, right. This one's going to go up, down. Now it did leave quite a bit in the corner. There's the spinning LiDAR. I don't see hardly any water in the dirty water tank. I don't see hardly any water in the dirty water tank, but maybe there is. Okay. It does not do the perimeter of the room on the second pass. So we did get quite a bit of stuff left. The floor is clean. Maybe a little streaking. There's what the app looks like. And it's going to back up and wash the mop pad now. Mop roller.
Emptying robot's bin.
Now in the app, it's got a little box that has the map in it now. Looks like we did get some activations of AI. I'm not sure what those are yet, but I wish we could see it in a big box, but all we get's a little box. All right, it's sucking the dirty water up into the dirty water tank. There's a water pump I can hear. It's spinning the mop pad. We're up to about the 2.5 minute mark, almost 3 minutes of washing the mop roller. Okay, it's going to start drying the mop roller. Doesn't sound like the water pumps have turned off yet. Okay, there they did. Okay, it's not super loud. You're definitely going to notice it. Okay, let's take a look at the dirty water tank. Didn't use a whole bunch of water. Water's it's not hot. Maybe lukewarm, maybe. All right. Whoops. Now, I put an Effort tablet in there. That's why it's that color. Okay, so there's the app. Let's click the activity. Oh yeah, now you can pinch and zoom. Not sure what those are. Those green check marks. Okay. Dirt removed or stain removed. There's two different green circles. So it looks like we got dirt removed. That's probably for dry material. Yeah, we had dirt removed in 1, 2, 3, 4 areas, yeah. It boosted suction. Clean duration, it took 16 minutes. There's also some other icons. Obstacle detected. Robot got stuck is on the yellow icon. I did get one of those, but it's not going to give a picture. It doesn't have a camera, so, and you can't click on it. It just says there's an that was my shoe. Now mapping is a little off because this wall actually goes to right here, and it cut it short. It shows that the white line is cutting it short. It actually goes to where the grayed out area is. So the automatic mapping cut it off right about there. I'm not sure why. Okay, let's do the carpet torture test. I got coffee, kitty litter, confetti, and long hair. Now, an interesting note is, when you're in vacuum and wash, you can do 2 passes, but when I go to vacuum, I can only do 1 pass, apparently. I've got it in boost. Make sure you hit the save button. We're gonna do an area like this. 8 minutes, let's start.
Vacuuming target area.
Now I had to stop the drying before I could start another task. And at the end of this job, I will be taking it all apart. We'll see how the long hair management did, dirty water tank. Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Let's see how well the Dyson Spot+Scrub vacuums up this big mess on carpet. We got kitty litter, coffee, a bunch of long hairs, some Cheerios. I've got it in a vacuum only mode and I got it on its highest setting, boost. Did a really good job with all those Cheerios. Sometimes it travels to the center of the room, or it did the perimeter of the room first. Now it just went through the center. It's actually doing a pretty good job of vacuuming. Lift a little bit of the coffee back. So it thinks that Cheerio is an obstacle, I think. There's the cleaning pattern in the app so far. Yeah, it's actually doing a pretty good job with the long hairs. Yeah, I think it thinks that Cheerio is an obstacle. Now the cleaning pattern is straight whenever it's cleaning. It does kind of travel around sometimes. Like when it did that, go over there, and one time it went down here and then kind of traveled over there. So it's not like it does the perimeter, and then it just immediately starts going in straight lines. Sometimes it'll travel to the center of the room first and start. And again, I'm not able to do 2 passes. This room definitely needs 2 passes. I'm amazed how quiet it is, and I'm really amazed how well it did with the long hair. But the true test will be when we open it up. Now it did drag some of the kitty litter. You can see that clean. I didn't get, maybe, I don't think my foot was there. You know, sometimes when I'm stepping around these things, earlier I got an obstacle. Yeah, now it traveled all the way over here and it's doing this side. It does spin the side brushes different on carpet, faster. When it goes to hardwood floor, it spins them slower. And sometimes it stops them. It's almost like it's doing the perimeter of the room again. Yeah, that's what it's doing. So maybe, since I've got it on boost, maybe it's doing 2 passes? I'm not sure. It does struggle when one wheel's on one level, like it wasn't able to vacuum that up, but that's pretty uneven. So I think since we've got it on boost, it's doing 2 passes. So if you put it on quick, it probably just does 1 pass. This room definitely needs 2 passes, so we'll see. It's definitely doing the second pass in a crisscross pattern. I think it might have got that Cheerio. So it looks like there might be dynamic obstacle avoidance. So earlier it thought there was an obstacle there, now it realizes there's not. I can't get over how quiet it is. For being on high suction, that is one of the quietest robots I've heard. I mean, you know it's quiet when you hear the motors of the side brushes. Definitely left a little bit. It's not getting it perfectly clean, but it's actually doing a really good job. Yeah, there's a little bit of coffee in there. Not too bad, though. It does have a nice straight cleaning pattern, other than once in a while it kind of just has a mind of its own, but it's figuring something out. Well, we'll give the dynamic obstacle avoidance a test. I got fake poop over there. I'll be doing a separate obstacle avoidance, but I just wanted to see this real quick. A little bit of coffee right here still. A little bit of coffee in the ground. It is sensing that. It looks like it might have turned the side brushes off. That's very good obstacle avoidance. That can be really hard to detect because the LiDAR is not bouncing a signal off it. It has to completely rely on that front sensor. Excellent job. Staying away from it. Okay, it's all done. There's the obstacles that it saw. And now we're gonna get an auto empty event. It does auto empty out the bottom right there. It is a bagless design.
Emptying robot's bin. Robot's bin emptied.
All right, let's verify it.
Robot's bin removed.
Wow, it did a good job of emptying. That was a big mess. Excellent job.
Robot's been attached.
Now, what is special about Dyson, and they carry this over from their cordless vacuum cleaners. This is the secret that makes their cordless vacuum cleaners so good. These are cyclones, and it directs the air. There's the filter. When that clogs, then you lose your suction. So somehow it directs the air in a circle that, what I have found with Dyson, stuff doesn't usually get on that screen. And so it drops down into here. This is where you want it to go. And it can fill it all the way up to here. So that's what the cyclone action does. I think it does do a good job. They do have that pretty well figured out. All right, let's take a look. Again, the robot's a little on the heavy side. No hair wrap. Mop roller is clean from the mopping event. Did get a Cheerio in there. A couple Cheerios. I would have liked to have seen him get those out. No hair wrap on this, per se. Just some Cheerios. Okay, that's actually pretty good robot. Now, it is a $1,200 robot, okay? It doesn't have some advanced features, but maybe simplicity. I do like simplicity. Maybe it's got just enough of the features. Got to take it home and play with it. Off to a great start. So again, if you want to see the robots that already have my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. That website's going to be the go-to place for robot vacuum cleaners, because after I live with it for 3 months, and then I'm going to bring it here and clean it. I'll show you how to do all the cleaning. Now, Dysons are notorious for parts. It can be tricky. For the original Dyson robot, or the one before this, the 360 nav, I was never able to find a brush roller, and I needed one bad for it. So that could be an issue. We'll see. It is bagless, so you don't need bags. That's good. Eventually, you will need a mop roller. You'll need a Dyson solution for the solution tank. I'm going to do some testing with that. So again, justadadapproved.com. That's where you can find the robots that I highly recommend. Right now, you don't have to spend $1,200 for a good robot vacuum cleaner. The Mova P10 Pro, my 2025 pick of the year. It's still so far my 2026 pick of the year. It was on sale for $399. What an amazing price. So check out my justadadapproved.com website. Sign up for my deal email list. So when a robot that I recommend goes on a huge discount, I send an email out to let you know, hey, this robot, which I love, is at a great price. So again, justadadapproved.com. I got the Saros 20 coming up right next. It's in the box. I'm going to unbox it, do this exact same first look. So again, thanks everybody. Okay, let's see how the secret robot vacuum cleaner testing's going. There's the Eufy X10. We're adding a few more. Here's the retirement community. They're not active right now. I had a problem with the Roomba again, leaking water, and it's already had the mod. The Eufy S1's been having a problem also. Oh, we got a little squall going on over here. Battle of the mop rollers. I brought the E25 down, E28 are going at it. There's the S1. He's got a red error message on the dock, but he's working. A few more newcomers, E25, the Mova. This little guy's just going to town. Q7 M5. Here's all the Roomba models. These are the antique Roombas that are no longer. These are way too old and way too much frustration. Oh yeah, I brought this one down. The L40 SCE and the P10. And we've got quite the battle going on down here. Eufy C20, its mop pads are already dry. It doesn't have an internal water tank, so it can't keep them wet. These guys are laying down some pretty good water. E25's not, but the E28 is.